And here, since I've recognized the pattern, I know there's a shortcut. What's the shortcut? Okay, once I enter this for loop, I know that my counter is a constant with respect to my for loop, right? My counter for i's goes back again to 0. Oops, sorry. Goes here, go back to 0. And I only need to check the cases or the times when I is less than or equal to count. Well, when I is 0 is less or equal to 1, when I is 1, this also is true. But once I is equal to 2, this will not be true anymore, and this will be true. So let's see what it does though, right? This can change here. If I is less than count, so when I'm at 0 or 1, this statement will be true. Res, which is my string, which is empty string now, because I did this here, plus equals, so concatenate my list at position count. Position count now is 1, and at position 1, it is actually B. When my list, so what it will do is go to my string and concatenate B when I equal to 0, concatenate B again when I is equal to 1. So now what we would do is separate into cases. Separate into cases when I is less than count and when I is greater than count, right? So when I is greater, which is the case when I is equal to 3, 2, 3, or 4, what would this string do? Or what would this if statement do? This will add a plus sign at the end of this string and print out bb plus. And when I is equal to 3, it will do the same. So, and it will print bb plus plus plus. Sorry, plus plus. And then when I is equal to 4, you put another plus sign here, and it will do this, right? It'll print this out. And then after all of this is done, right, I've taken into consideration all the values of i's I have, my condition, my if, and my for loop finishes, it goes up to here, count, and count goes up by 1. So realizing this pattern is very, very powerful. It gives me so much more time in the midterm, right? Me realizing this pattern allows me to save a lot of time, and you can see it later. Watch. When this, so my count goes up by 1, now it's at 2. It goes up here, checks this condition. Okay, I'm still less than 5. And first, I'm refresh my string, or set it back to empty string, and I go here. And all I have to do, since I've realized what this is doing, I just need to check when I is less than, okay, what's my count? Less than 2. I is less than or equal to 2 when I is equal to 0 or 1 or 2. And in the other case, when I is greater than 2, that's when I is equal to 3 or 4. So I'm splitting this into cases, right? So I know my I can split into 2 cases. So I have my I2 here, 2 cases. So when I'm sorry if this is a little bit confusing, so I'm going to delete this and just keep this for now. So when I is 0 or 1 or 2, I know my function is going to be doing the exact same thing. So when I is 0, I go here and check what it would do, which is concatenate my list at position now 2, which is C, to my string. And how many times? 0, 1 time, 1, 1 time, 2, 1 time. So in total, 3 times. Now after my I is 2, it'll be 3 and 4. And that's the case when this if statement is not true anymore. So I go to here and add a plus sign and print it out. Add a plus sign for when I is equal to 4 and print it out. So realizing this pattern saves me a lot of time, but you have to be careful though. My count goes up by 1 again. I'm still doing this tracing. Now it's 3. Count is still less than 5. Res, I need to refresh my res. And after refresh, go up here, refresh my I is 0 again. Now, realizing the pattern, I know again, when it is less than or equal to 3, it's when I is equal to 0 or 1 or 2 or 3. And what it would do for those cases is to concatenate my list at position 3, which is D now, to my string res, right? My res points to G, and G is pointer to my G is a memory address to my empty string right now, but it will concatenate D. How many times? 1, 2, 3, 4 times. But it doesn't print anything. And after 3, when the index of the for loop goes to 4, this condition is not satisfied anymore. So what it would do is concatenate a plus sign and print it out. So this will be D, 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 D plus. I'm still not done yet, right? My while loop's still not done yet. I go to count at 1 again, which is 4. Okay, so 4 is still less than 5. Reset my string. And go here, reset my index for my for loop. And now, this is the interesting part. So you have to be careful. When you recognize a pattern, you need to be careful with the power. Right? With power comes responsibility. So when I is equal to 0, when count is equal to 4, my condition is this will run whenever my I, the counter for my for loop, is less than the variable count. So the cases for which I is less than 4 or less or equal to 4 is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so what it would do? So when it's at every time it's at 0, or when it's at 0 or 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, it will just literally, not literally, but simply put concatenate my list at position 4, which is E. And how many times will it do it? It'll do it 5 times. And after 5 times, the loop's finished. This never gets run. This part of the code doesn't run when counter or when count is equal to 4. That's something you have to be careful about, right? Nothing is printed here. So I go up to my count, I add 1 again, which now is equal to 5. When this is equal to 5, this while condition is now not true. So this while loop stops, and I've completed my tracing. So this is all the outputs, right? And I'm done. That's it. This video is really, the theme of this video, or I want to bring out, is recognizing patterns, right? The 2 patterns I've realized that was really important is that count is a constant with respect to my for loop. And secondly, all my for loop do is to check this if statement. And if this if statement, I can split into 2 cases, when this is true and when this is not true. Since every time it is true, it's doing the same thing. When it's not true, it's doing the same thing. So I can split it into cases. And that's what I did earlier. And this really shortens the time I take on the midterm. I think with these strategies I've provided you today, I hope that all of you can ace your midterm. So good luck, guys, and work hard.